Kris Wu is a predator, and the world has been blind. He's hidden his true nature for years behind a facade of fame, charm, and a polished image. But behind the smiles and flashing cameras, there is a far more chilling side to him. Now, the truth is out, and that has been darker than you could have ever imagined. How many have he left in his wake? But how had he managed to keep this secret hidden for so very long? The layers start to come off. You begin to question everything you know about Kris Wu. You'll be shocked by what's coming next. A scandal much darker than anticipated has crashed around the shoulders of Kris Wu, once a K-pop star. But what many fans believed was a sudden, unexplained departure from EXO in 2014 is unraveling into a terrible story of manipulation, a lie, and predatory behavior. For years, Kris has been able to keep his true nature from being seen, but the real truth is finally coming to light, and much darker than anyone could have expected. The main reason he cited when he left EXO was that he didn't want to work or because he was sick. According to him, miserable health problems, such as myocarditis, an illness that affects the heart, resulted from inordinate company demands. He also claimed that SM Entertainment neglected his well-being and was unwilling to let him see his family in China for years on top of that. These seemed reasonable to his fans at first, but these were shocking reasons. It's not unusual for K-pop idols to be burnt out after all. The life of a K-pop idol isn't easy. But as time went by and Kris's reactions got more and more loose, that truth slipped through the cracks. The story kept changing and fans never knew what took place behind locked doors. The more he'd talk about his departure, Kris's explanations didn't make sense. But first, he said he suffered from health problems, and later he blamed the strict rule over his career by the agency. He shared with him how, according to him, he left to pursue his dreams as an independent artist. But no matter the reason, there was always one thing that didn't add up. Why did he have to break up with EXO so abruptly and dramatically? And why was there such a strong disconnect with his fellow group members? It wasn't long before rumors began to surface about Kris's behavior, but no one could have predicted the horrifying truth that would come out in the years that followed. The allegations surrounding him were serious, too serious to ignore. It's now known that Kris Wu was not just a star, he was a predator. For years, he took advantage of his fame and power, preying on young girls, many of whom were underage. These girls were vulnerable, and Kris used his status to manipulate them into situations where they had no choice but to comply with his advances. The most shocking part? This wasn't exactly a secret to everybody. For years, there were whispers, but the truth had been buried under the layers of his fame. But it wasn't until Kris left EXO that floodgates began to open. The more victims that came forward, the more it became clear that his departure wasn't as innocent as it seemed. Far from it. Kris wasn't running away from his artistic dreams or his health. He was running from what he'd done. But the carefully constructed persona of the innocent idol began to crack, and we saw that he had been living a lie all along. In July 2021, a wave of explosive allegations hit the Chinese-Canadian singer Kris Wu throughout the entertainment world. The accusations against Wu came from a young woman named Meizhu, who alleged that the entertainer had sexually assaulted other women, including some who were minors, and posted a series of social media messages regarding the pattern, reported CNN. Her brave testimony set off a wave of other women coming forward with their harrowing stories. These accounts were disturbing, showing how you could be systematically exploited by Wu, taking young women in with promises of fame and of becoming some kind of entertainer. Sexual assault, grooming, and an abuse of power dynamics were among the allegations. These revelations came with a devastating effect. Wu was dropped by major brands when they severed ties with him and pulled him from their campaigns and public endorsements. His music was yanked from streaming platforms, and then his digital presence was scrubbed from the internet. For investigation, Wu was swiftly detained by the Chinese government. The public watched the legal proceedings that followed closely. Kris Wu was found guilty of rape and sentenced to 13 years in prison in November 2022. He raped 3 other women in his home in 2020 and engaged in group sexual activity with 2 other women in 2018, the court found. Kris Wu's case shook the entertainment industry and beyond. It was a painful reminder of the abuse of power to believe victims. The case also underscored the immediate requirement for a more watchful environment in the entertainment industry for the protection of young folks from methods of exploitation. A pattern of predatory behavior. The allegations against Kris Wu revealed a disturbing pattern of predatory behavior that had allegedly been ongoing for years. Rumors and concerns had circulated within the industry regarding his interactions with young women, particularly those aspiring to enter the entertainment world. However, these warnings were often dismissed or ignored, allowing Wu's abuse to continue unchecked. The case exposed a culture of silence and complicity that can enable such abuse to thrive. The fear of repercussions, the power imbalance between established figures and aspiring individuals, and the pressure to maintain a positive public image can create an environment where victims are afraid to speak out. The Kris Wu case has opened the doors for many much-needed conversations about sexual abuse, consent, and indeed the responsibility the entertainment industry bears to protect the vulnerable. It has triggered a critical review of power dynamics and the pressing need for more transparency and accountability in the industry. The case equally highlights the need to put all allegations coming in concerning sexual abuse taken seriously and be believed. I think it's important to create an environment where victims feel comfortable coming out without retaliation. This is a cautionary tale. The fall of Kris Wu is an example of how unchecked abuse of power has consequences. It is a reminder that we have a culture to foster to prevent such things as respect, consent, and accountability in the entertainment industry and in